To Ernest Johnson motoring his way down the sideline. Got it right down.
New Orleans will get the kick in the second half. Winston loading it up. Oh, it's...
Like the boy Mace says, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right, we are here again, and we're doing it from the 103. We're going to talk about sleepers. We're going to talk about fades. We're going to talk about must-have players. We're going to explain strategy on the board and how to play it. We've done videos of the 101 and at the 102, so go ahead, check them out if you can. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share for this page because I want to build the community with all y'all. But let's get into this. We're doing it from the 103. We're doing 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 quarterback, all PPR, 1 tight end, no kickers, no defense, 6 bench. We're going to start nice and simple. Jamar Chase has a super easy strength of schedule. He was a monster when he came back from his injury last year, and you felt the tides turning there. You saw that T. Higgins' target share went down into the teens, and Jamar Chase jumped up real high above that 22%. That's something we're going to love. Joe Burrow loves him. We're going to start with Jamar Chase. We're going to keep this nice, quick, and short for y'all. We're going to keep bouncing, and my guy is sitting there, and you'll see this video soon. The My Guy episode is coming out soon, and somebody I love is Nick Chubb. We're not going to talk about Jalen Waddle, Ramondre Stevenson, or any of them. I love Nick Chubb. He's got no cream hump behind him. He has Jerome Ford, who's not proven yet. We should see 35 to 50 targets for Nick Chubb, plus the 250 carries on him, and he has a potential out on this contract next year. So for the Cleveland Browns, it behooves them. Yes, behooves. I'm a genius. But it helps them. It'll behoove them. It'll make their franchise better if they run him into the ground this season and then boot him along, because all the money they put into Deshaun Watson, they're not going to be able to keep paying Nick Chubb. They need to get younger to that position eventually. But this year, run him until the wheels fall off, a la DeMarco Murray, a la Josh Jacobs last season. If you loved what you got from Josh Jacobs last season, you're going to get the same thing from Nick Chubb this season. Let's watch the board flip. We just missed out on Olave. That's upsetting. Oh, well, we found our pick. Nice and simple. We checked out the tight ends. And here's the thing with tight ends. You want an athletic guy. Mark Andrews checks that. You want a top 3 option in the offense. Check. Mark Andrews is probably the number 1 in that offense. You want a good offense and a good team. Check, check. The Ravens are always a good offense and a good team. You want an offensive coordinator who leans towards the pass. Check. There we go. And we want his pass catching ability to be better than his blocking by a lot. Not just a small margin, but a decent, healthy amount. And once again, check. Mark Andrews hits all of them. 10th easiest schedule in the NFL for tight ends. We got our tight end on the board. Experts rank Mark Andrews as the top tight end. So the Fantasy Pros draft wizard, I don't know why I said it like that, but the draft wizard loves us. Let's pull our roster up. We started with Nick Chubb. We started with Jamar Chase. We started with Mark Andrews. And we're coming back around. We're getting off this tight end tab. We don't need it. We're going to look at the quarterbacks. We could go Joe Burrow for the stack. We're going to see if he lands to us because we do have Justin Fields, Justin Herbert. We can go late round quarterback. Whatever. If Alexander Madison, J.K. Dobbins, feels a little early for me for them. So we're going to look at the wide receivers. I do not love DeAndre Hopkins aging, learning a new offense with a really terrible offense in Tennessee. Chris Godwin with Baker Mayfield, don't really love it. And the fun fact, Baker Mayfield is actually a really good deep passer, which isn't Chris Godwin. That's Mike Evans. Go ahead, look up the Baker Mayfield stats for deep passes last season in 2021. You'll see that those numbers comparable to Josh Allen. You want to know who threw more deep passes over 20-plus yards last season out of Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes? It's going to shock you, but it's Baker Mayfield. Go ahead and look it up. Think I'm crazy, but it's Mike Evans is the deep ball guy. That's the guy I would rather have on that team. Jerry Jeudy and the Broncos got to worry about the offense. I'm going to go DJ Moore. They traded for him, so they clearly wanted him there. There's a need because Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney are good, but not great. And all we've heard all offseason was DJ Moore, DJ Moore, DJ Moore. Well, I'm expecting a lot of DJ Moore after seeing that terrible screen pass thrown to him, and it didn't matter because he just put on a little shake and bake, a little shimmy, got rid of that guy, and went about 50 yards on a screen pass touchdown in the preseason. So DJ Moore is our wide receiver too. We have Nick Chubb, Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, and Mark Andrews. And we're coming back here to another guy I love, and he popped right up, and I'm not even going to look because his ECR has fallen 3 spots in the past week. I don't really care. That doesn't matter to me. He's got the 7th easiest schedule for wide receivers in the NFL. His team has the easiest schedule in the NFL. he's a top 5 pick. The Falcons have a better quarterback in Ritter than Marcus Mariota because Marcus Mariota is trash. It's not a secret, but I'm going to keep it quiet just so he doesn't hear me. Drake London's going to do a lot. Kyle Pitts is going to be there, and then that's it. There's not really much else out there for the passing game. And yes, they will run the ball a lot still, but they're playing the AFC South and the NFC South, and the AFC South is atrocious. So give me Drake London. Got a great flex here. We're going to go down the board. Let's see what these 3 pick insights available says. Once it lets us, it's going through all the picks. It tells us no team needs a starting quarterback before your pick. So we could basically wait on the quarterback, it's saying, which, yeah, I'll wait. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson. We don't really need to go too heavily there. Here's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to go to the running back tab, and I like Alexander Madison. Alexander Madison, when he played, was efficient. When Alexander Madison played, he scored fantasy points. When Alexander Madison gets on the field, he gets on the field with a really good offense in the Minnesota Vikings offense. We saw what it's done for Dalvin Cook, and I think it will do the same for Alexander Madison. You see right here, he has the 3rd easiest strength of schedule for running backs. And here's the thing, the secret caveat, if you will. The Minnesota Vikings defense is atrocious, terrible, pathetic. If you really, really look at it, they're retooling that defense. They're going to be a bottom 10 defense. What does a bottom 10 defense on a dome team provide you? A really strong offensive shootout style game. And I want players from good offenses in styles of game, pace of play like that. Give me Alexander Madison all day, every day, and with a grain of salt, I guess. We're going to go into the 7th round. And another one of my guys, James Conner, falls to me here. Now, I'm probably not going to get David Montgomery, another dude I love, but that's okay. James Conner, he gets a backup quarterback to start the season. So you know they're going to lean on the run game because Colt McCoy is over the hill. Clayton Tune isn't really truly ready. Let's say Kyler Murray comes back at any point, even though he shouldn't. You think, oh no, the mobile quarterback, he's going to cannibalize my running back because that's what mobile quarterbacks do. Wrong, not happening here, because Kyler Murray is not as mobile as he was beforehand because he's coming off the injury. It takes time to get mobile again. We've seen history show it over and over and over again. Don't think that he's going to be the one who's any different because he doesn't train any harder than any of the guys before. He might even train less because we know his history with video games and all that fun stuff. But now we have James Conner without Kyler Murray on a really bad offense. And when he had those moments without Kyler Murray, he was scoring 20 plus points every week when that happened last season. Every week. And here's the biggest secret. His defense, they suck as much as the Vikings and even worse. It's a good secret to know because you know how you hide a really bad defense? By slowing the pace on offense, handing the ball to your running back, and plotting away that game and taking the time off the clock. I expect 15 to 20 touches a game for James Conner. And in this round, and 703 pick, give me that all day. So we have Nick Chubb, we have Alexander Madison, we have Jamar Chase, we have DJ Moore, Mark Andrews, Drake London, and James Conner. Let's keep looking. Let's take a quick look at the quarterbacks. Not really loving anything there. Running backs, we have Antonio Gibson's a maybe. We have A.J. Dillon, Zach Charbonnet, but we got time for Charbonnet. You know how much I love him if you watch the first video and the second video here for 101 and 102. But we're going to talk about a guy here I really, really like. And it's because we're outside the 7 rounds. And after the first 7 rounds, you got to play it a little bit safer because you can lose your draft, your championship, everything in the first 7 rounds if you pick incorrectly. After that, it's all about upside. Which players can outperform their ADP? And this guy right here, Gabe Davis, can do that. We know all the hype from last season. We know he's big. We know he's tall. We know he's athletic. We know he's the wide receiver, too, on a really strong offense. And yet it came up last year. He was getting drafted in the 3rd, the 5th round, and he underperformed like no other. And most of that was because of injury. But let's not forget, before he got injured, he had a 90-yard touchdown against the Steelers, and I'm pretty sure it was a 2-touchdown game. We know about the 4-touchdown game in the playoffs against the Chiefs, one of the best football games of all time. Like I said, he's tied to Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in one of the best offenses. The only person for sure we know that is above him is Stephon Diggs. Dalton Kincaid's coming in the league. We know about rookie tight ends. They usually don't start off right away. The wide receiver 3 is a mix and mash of random people who can't seem to want to take the job. We don't know about James Cook yet, even though I like him this year. We're going to go Gabe Davis for the upside. 2 pick insight available. Let's see what Fantasy Pros said about me. One team needs a starting quarterback. So let's take a quick look at the starting quarterback, even though I believe my pick is right here in the wide receiver tab. Yeah, I'm not worried about quarterbacks. We're not going to do that. We're going to look at the running backs, Antonio Gibson. Let's see if he slides back to us. I like somebody here. We just talked about it. Upside after the 7th round. And we're looking at another strong offense here. Now, Zay Flowers would have been a pick, but we already have Mark Andrews. I don't want to put too many eggs in one basket in a tough division. Quentin Johnston, though, that's a good pick. Mike Williams is always injured. Keenan Allen is always injured. We have a tall guy here. We have a fast guy here. We have an offensive coordinator that they brought in with Kellen Moore who wants to be aggressive and put points on the board quickly. We have a coach on the hot seat who needs to do something strong because he's got all this talent. We have an aging running back that maybe he gets injured. And here's the thing, last season injuries defined this team. They had Justin Herbert dealing with a rib injury, so their offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, had to dial back the ADOT, average depth of targets for the newbies. And that's why all the short passes were happening, all the checkdowns to Austin Eckler. And if you're watching my videos, go back and check out the first round mistake that you can make by drafting Austin Eckler. Just scroll down a little bit, watch it after you watch this one. I promise it'll inform you a lot of stuff. But I see that ADOT coming back up because Justin Herbert isn't injured this year. His lineman, Rashawn Slater, isn't injured this year. His center, whose name is just blanking, his guard, his name is just blanking me. Both not injured this year. So healthy line, healthy quarterback, aggressive offensive coordinator, a coach who needs to win in a division against the Kansas City Chiefs where they got to keep up. They got to put up points. They're in the AFC. There's no way to win without putting up points. Give me Quentin Johnston because they drafted him high, so I should draft him here. Let's watch this board roll out. See, we lost Zach Charbonnet. That's a tough one. I would have loved to have gotten Zach Charbonnet. Let's take a look at these wide receivers. We have a lot, so we could probably switch this because Vondell Moore, bad offense. Nico Collins could be the one, but it's a little early. Alan Lazard, I don't ever like him. He's more of a floor play than a ceiling. Tyler Boyd is the ultimate handcuff for our guy, Jamar Chase, but we just don't need to do that yet. Let's see what we got here in quarterbacks. Got a Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones I like, Anthony Richardson. I think I'm going to go Anthony Richardson. We're playing the upside card, like I said, and it's a little early. So we'll see how this goes, and that's okay if you pick a little early sometimes when you got to play the board correctly, and you don't know. You got 5 picks. You don't know what's going to happen. Maybe these people don't need quarterback. They need tight ends probably. But you never know because quarterback's more valuable than tight end. He's going to run a lot. He's going to throw the ball deep because he got a cannon and an arm. He'll use those legs like we just said because they're made of steel. But here's the thing. Tim Tebow got us a lot of points without being able to throw the ball 15, 20, 25 points a week off 90-something yards passing. Lamar Jackson, before he became an MVP, was a top 10 quarterback the year before with just average passing stats. Daniel Jones, a guy who's above us 2 slots above Anthony Richardson here, had 12 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and everybody's raving that he's the next best fantasy quarterback. Why? Because he runs the ball. If Daniel Jones gets you excited, Anthony Richardson makes me want to take my pants off. Draft that player. We're done with that. Let's let the 5 picks. Yep, there it is. Slight reach, 83% chance he still would have been there. Whatever. We got 3 more picks left. Let's go back through the team. We have Anthony Richardson. We have Nick Chubb. We have Alexander Madison. We have Jamar Chase. We have DJ Moore. We have Mark Andrews, Drake London, James Conner, Gabe Davis, and Quentin Johnston. So let's go back here. I'm going to probably keep hammering away at the wide receivers. How many running backs we got? 1, 2, 3. We might need 1 running back. And here it is. Upside again. We're going to talk about Devon Achane. The man is small. Okay. The man is super fast. And speed kills in the NFL, and you can't teach it, and it is really hard to game plan against. And he's dealing with 2 running backs ahead of him with Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, both older, both deal with injury, both were super efficient, which means they should regress back towards the means with that. And Devon Achane could be that 3rd down, scat back, catching the ball type guy. And all we need is 1 or 2 plays with that speed to break out to make it worth starting him as a 4th running back on our team. Give me Devon Achane. We're going to let it go through. We got a couple picks to go. 2 more picks. Man, this draft flies by. I love this Fantasy Pros draft wizard. It's always so easy. Let's take a look because, okay, he's still there. Nico Collins will be the pick. 8th easiest strength of schedule for wide receivers, has a possibility to be the alpha wide receiver. And guess what? If he's not, who cares? We cut him. We get somebody else. We're at the end of our draft. There's only 2 picks left. These people are maximum upside, and on an offense that I think is going to be behind a lot, who's going to have to throw a lot, I'm going to take the shot at Nico Collins. And then I have Anthony Richardson. And what I've been doing every time I get Anthony Richardson is I've been protecting the pick with another quarterback just in case. So that pick insight does nothing for us. We'll get rid of that. There's Daniel Jones. Like I said, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, one of the hardest strength of schedules. I don't like his wide receivers. I think Darren Waller is a fade this year because he didn't break one single tackle last season. Not one. He's old. He's unathletic. I'm not excited for them. It would be between Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff, because go look up Jared Goff when he's inside. Look him up last season when he was inside compared to when it was an away game. And look him up when he's at the Minnesota Viking Dome, too. Look at any stats when he's inside in a dome. He's actually a top 10 quarterback. It's when he's outside that he's not. And he plays 14 games, I believe, 13 or 14 games in a dome this season. So he's got a lot of games in the dome, but I don't like the weapons there in Detroit. And I can make another video about that soon, which will be a 2-minute drill about each and every team. We'll get there when we get there. We're going to go Kirk Cousins. We talked about it. Safe, reliable. We know what we're getting. He has Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Alexander Madison, who's on our team to create a little bit of a mini stack here, and they won't cannibalize at each other because Kirk Cousins doesn't run. But like I said, really, really bad defense. So it's going to be a shootout style game. He also plays in the dome more often than not. Kirk Cousins is going to finish off our team here, and let's see what we get as the board rounds itself out. I think we did a really good job with this draft. And yep, all the Fantasy Pros experts gave us an A or higher. We have to finish this team that got a grade of an A, 96 out of 100, with the consensus of 145 experts. We got at quarterback, Anthony Richardson. Running backs are Nick Chubb and Alexander Madison. Our wide receivers are Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, and Drake London at the flex. We have Mark Andrews at the tight end. Our bench consists of James Conner, Gabe Davis, Quentin Johnson, Devon Achane, Nico Collins, and Kirk Cousins. All right, that's our draft. That's everything. We went through it. We went through some players you must have. We went through some late round sleepers. We went through players you should fade, how to do the quarterback position, playing the board correctly. We're teaching you every viable tip and trick that you need to get through this draft season in 2023 and win your championship. Let me know what you liked. Let me know in the comments. Like this, comment, subscribe, share. But let's be a group, people. Come on. It's fantasy football season, and we are